Thank you for joining in today's meditation, where I'd like you to have a pen and paper available towards you. If not, you can use an app on your phone, your finger within the floor or the space around you, or anything else that feels right for you right now. When you have your pen and paper alternative in front of you, I'd like you to find a place to sit where you can work from, covering and protecting that area if you need, as we'll be moving the pen potentially on and off the paper. And when you're in this position, I'd like you to get the pen ready, knowing that for this meditation the pen is never going to leave the paper. And when you feel ready, place the pen wherever you feel like on the paper and start to draw a circle. And allow the circle to keep going in more or less where it originally was, allowing it to move slightly on and off, not needing to be perfect. Allow yourself to find a rhythm as you're drawing the circle, a beat almost, as you notice as you meet the top. And notice this beat in your head, not needing to change it or adapt it in any way, but just allowing it to be. Become comfortable with this beat and choose whether you want to breathe in time with it or not, knowing there is no right or wrong answer. As we keep the circle going for a few more breaths. And slowly we're going to allow the circle to get bigger and bigger. And notice how the circle is doing that without forming any judgment. Allow the circle to take over as much as the page as you want. As you're aware of what space it is or isn't taken up. Not feeling the need to change this, but observe. As the circle becomes smaller and smaller, smaller than the size of the original circle. And in a moment we're going to move from this small circle to the original circle to the large circle again. And when you're doing this in a few moments, I'd like you to be aware of the pressure that you are using. Again, without forming judgment, but noting if there is a change between the small, original and large circle. As we now begin to allow that circle to get a bit bigger, noting the pressure that we're giving, the grip that we're holding, the space that we're covering, until we're at the largest the circle can be. And we begin to get smaller again, till we come back to the smallest point we can. And when you're at the smallest point you can, we're going to start to move in a straight line across the page, from one end to the other. And as you're doing this, just notice without needing to change whether this line is horizontal, vertical or diagonal. If the line is staying in a similar place or if it's taken over the page. Knowing again there is no right or wrong answer. And as you're drawing this line across, once again notice the pressure without needing to change anything, noticing if it stayed the same or adapted naturally in any way. And now notice the shape of your hand, becoming aware of it either by looking or sensing. Imagine if the pen was not there, what would the hand be like? How would it move? Is it stiff or is it free-flowing? Has it got space or is it tightly bound? And how is the wrist? Are the wrist movements free? Are they controlled? And allow this observation to continue up the arm as you become aware of the movement of the lower arm, again without needing to change anything. Become aware of the movement of the lower arm in space. As we now begin to focus above the elbow to the upper arm, and how this upper arm moves in space as if nothing else exists. As we notice the shoulder, move back to the upper arm, the lower arm, the wrist, the hand, and the pressure on the paper. As we stay here for 3 more breaths, getting in as much information as our arm movement as we can. And on our 3rd and final breath, we stop drawing the lines. Place the pen down and just notice the sensations between one arm and the other. As you notice if it feels looser or tighter, freer or in more pain. You notice how the fingers feel, the palm of the hand feels, the wrist feels, the lower arm, the elbow, the upper arm, and the shoulder. As you now consciously move your non-dominant hand and move it as if you were holding the pen without it there. Start by focusing on the grip, trying to replicate what your dominant hand was doing, knowing it's okay if we do not get it perfect. Begin to move those straight lines again, as if you were drawing on the paper but now moving in space. Start by focusing on the wrists and adjusting to make it as similar to the right hand side as you can, knowing again it does not need to be perfect. And then focusing on the lower arm and the elbow, knowing it may feel strange at first, as 1, this arm has not been moving, and 2, it is a non-dominant hand. And there is no need for the 2 of them to be perfectly the same, but we can choose to allow the left or the non-dominant hand to be free to move as it wishes. As you begin to focus on the upper arm of the non-dominant arm, allowing it to move however it feels it needs to do. As you bring our attention to the shoulder, allowing the non-dominant arm to move however it feels it needs to move in between these lines. To bring our attention back to our upper arm, our elbow, our lower arm, our wrist, and our fingers. As we stay with this for 3 more breaths, and on the 3rd and final exhale, Stopping drawing the lines, allowing the arms to rest. Noticing the sensation in the non-dominant arm, the similarities and differences between the right and the left side. So exhale, we're rolling our shoulders back. We're doing a few of these shoulder rolls. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, coming down. Moving in time with your own breath. As we release the movement of both the arms, hands and wrists. As we do 5 more shoulder rolls, moving up and back. In time with our own breath. As we come back to our physical body. And at the end of your 5th and final shoulder roll, sit for a moment and notice some sensations in your body. Thank you for joining in today's meditation.